Okay, so this is Court. He's 11 years old, a left-hander, 107-pounder in mass, 5'5", which is 65 inches is his height, and his stride is 58 inches. His fastball came in today at 54. Okay, so let's watch our mechanics on this. One of the first things I look at in this position is I try to watch the front of your arm. Because ideally, there's two phases of pitching. You have a stride phase, which is where you pick up your leg and you get your body moving till your foot lands right there. Then comes the throwing phase, which you're already in. Okay, you and your brother have something in common. You guys throw before your foot lands. There's a study done by scientists that found that high velocity throwers, very high velocity throwers, is there will be a separation. In other words, they don't go into the throwing phase until their stride ends. So you see your elbow way out here? You're throwing the ball before your foot lands. So you lose a lot of the power. That's like batting and stepping out of the box when you bat. You got no power when you do that, but that's what you're doing here. So that's one of the first bites of the elephant we have to work on. So let's watch. I'll take you back to it. The position that you want to land in, see before your glove rolls over? You're really good right there, but you got to travel like that. So see this right here? You need to get your hips going here as your arms still close like that and travel like that. Now what happens is, watch your glove. Your thumb is down right there. See your thumb? It's down. Now when you start to roll over, you're going into the throwing phase. You're rolling over, rolling over, rolling over. See how my arm is now in a cocked position? You're starting to throw, and look how far you are still off the ground. So we'll work on that. But that's one of the first bites of the elephant that I see, okay? Boom. Now your brother has more of a contralateral tilt, which is you leaning toward this glove side. But you see how everything starts pulling over here? That's because you're throwing earlier, and your brother does it too. You're throwing before your foot lands, but everything's pulling out over here. So if we look at our arm angle, see how that elbow is even with the shoulder? That's because you're pulling everything out. Your brother had a stronger contralateral tilt, which is you leaning toward the glove side than you do. But hey, we're figuring out where we are. I'll make competition between you guys. Hey, you guys will both get better together. Okay? You guys are a team. All right, work on it. See how that wrist turns over? That's called pronation. See your wrist turning over? You got really good pronation. If your arm was right there, it would be nasty. But we'll work on that. Hey, what are you doing over here? You're really leaning over. Now I know why you're throwing hard to the right and I'm having to reach to my left.
Are you sure? You want Gabe to jump over you?
Yeah,
Trying to be upside down?
I think that pitch is just a wee bit outside. Okay? Good finish. And it was a strike. Okay? And that's why your leg flies over. Instead of landing here, it flies over here because everything is pulling out in your head and then your foot comes there.
I told you that, didn't I?
Yeah.
So what I would do, I would bunt the ball right over there and you would never get it. Because look how you're facing toward third. So you couldn't get over to get that bunt the way it is now. So as you play baseball, you look at batters when they bat and you try to find out their weakness in batting and you throw to that weakness. As hitters, you look at a pitcher's way he's throwing and you try to find his weakness. Your weakness right now is over there. For a fast batter, if he bunted down here, you'd have a hard time getting to it. But most kids aren't that smart at that age. But if you're a coach, bunt on that kid. Bunt on that kid. All right, so that's the front view. This is where we spend the majority of the time. Remember I said when your foot starts coming up and you're going forward, that's the stride. Your stride ends right there. See how your elbow disappears? Because you went into you're doing everything right. Your timing isn't there. That's all. Arms in a full cock position because we already started when we land. I like your chin is still even with your belly button, which is a good position. So your trunk hasn't started going forward, and I don't expect it to. I expect it to go that way because we don't have any momentum. Now once you land, boom. Let me back it up. Boom. I'm just going to draw a little dot there at your knee. You're not in a bad position where your knee is behind your ankle. I'll show you this drill in a minute and show you the difference on why you want your knee behind your ankle when you land. Because all that force that you developed while your foot was in the air, it's now hitting the ground. Now, you don't move the earth when your foot hits the ground. You don't move the earth down. No. So what happens? That earth isn't moving. So now all of my power is going to shoot up my leg as long as my leg stays just like that. But let's watch what happens. Move, 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 move. Stabilize. Okay, so it moved about 2 or 3 inches. So you lost power in your front leg. As you get older and get stronger, that leg will tighten up. But it's not in a bad position. So we're right here. Let's watch what happens to that knee. Oh, look at that. Very nice. See how it came back? Mm-hmm. Look how it came back. Oh, that's an advanced move. You're doing an advanced high velocity pitching move right there. In other words, just like you're batting and you go to swing, that front leg snaps. So that's good. I don't have to teach that. That's already there. That's a hard one to teach. Okay. The other thing that I look at in this, and I spend a lot of time here, is I look at how your arm lays back. See how your arm's coming back? And I want to see when it lays back the most, which is right there. Right there. So that's not in a bad position, that your elbow is even with your ear. That's where we want your arm to be as it externally rotates back. If it starts getting in front of your face at that point, then that's called TJ, Tommy John surgery.
That's right.
There's a direct correlation.
Right there.
Yep, there's that direct correlation once your elbow gets in front of your face when it lays back, because there's all that torque on your elbow. So that's not a bad position for you right there. And let's look at, finally, the backside. And what I look on the backside is I look and I watch how you load. There should be a bend to this leg. So you bring your leg up. I bring it down. There's your load. See it? See how you're loading? Mm-hmm. Now you bend it to extend it. I load it to explode it. So from this point, I want to see it straighten out. Let's see what happens. Once it turns in, you don't have any stability to straighten. So you see how you turned in and it's still bent? Mm-hmm. You're not using your lower half. You're not using your bottom half. If you use, and this is why you're pulling out so much, if you're not getting power out of this, your legs, then what happens is I overcompensate and I have to get power, and you do it with your upper half. So you're throwing with the end of the whip rather than the handle. Okay? Boom. I want to do one more line if we go back to the beginning, the stride. And this is for both of you, and I'll do the other one on Keaton in a minute. There's another direct correlation. When you bring up your leg, oh, there's a dog in our garage, Laura.
Oh, it's been following us.
All right. When you bring up that leg from here, oops, you actually go back a little bit. Okay, so remember, when I'm here, the majority of my weight is going to be on my back leg. So as we do some drills, I'll ask you to be on your toe. I don't want you to pitch with you on your toe, but for the drill, I just want you to be on your toe so the majority of weight is back here. Because you'll see yourself. There's the line. So you go back a little bit. Not too bad. But where's the top of the leg lift? Right there. So how far did we move forward? Really not much at all, right? So I'll look at it another way. I like to, you know football? Who knows football? Oh, yeah, you know it, right? Tell me what this looks like.
Field goal.
There you go. Man, you're smart,
What'd you
too.
say?
A field goal. All right, so watch. I put that, the middle of the field goals is your hips. That's what we want to drive to the plate. So as we bring up to the top of the leg lift, you never got out of the field goal. So what studies show is that when you lift this foot up on the ground, let me get rid of my field goal, you want to start moving your hips down and forward at the same time. So what you do, here's the top of the leg lift. So I didn't move forward. What's the next thing you do? Watch your shoulders. I sink. So your first move is dropping. And now I got to power up when my leg is bent. Now I got to power up and try to push out. Your legs aren't that strong yet. So we use gravity. We get our hips going forward, and then we load as our hips are going forward. So you're using gravity to help develop force. Okay?